Who can forget Fantasia, with Mickey Mouse taking on an army of unruly broomsticks in Walt Disney's masterpiece. Now a new movie inspired by that classic is conjuring up a whole new kind of magic. It's called The Sorcerer's Apprentice, and we're happy to have one of its stars with us this morning, Oscar winner Nicolas Cage. Great to see you this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on your show.
So watching Fantasia was a real family ritual for you growing up.
Absolutely, yeah. My parents used to take me to see it during the holiday season, and of course it would play late at night. And it'd be like 11 o'clock and I'd be drifting off. I was very tired. I was like 6 years old. And I would hear the fantastic classical music and see the beautiful imagery of Walt Disney and his fantastic art. And it just left an indelible impression on me.
And you really pushed to get this movie made, which is based on the Sorcerer's Apprentice section of Fantasia. What was it about it? What did you want to do?
Well, I like to take my personal interests and put it into my professional life. I had an interest in ancient English mythology, the Arthurian Grail cycles. I was trying to find a way to apply that into a family movie. And it occurred to me that if I could play an ancient sorcerer hailing from the time of Merlin, that would be a perfect way to do it.
And you actually visited Merlin's cave and Stonehenge in Japan?
I like to go all over and try to soak up whatever I can in terms of these historical and legendary places. It just stimulates me as an artist.
Well, let's play a little bit about it. You play Balthazar, who is a protege of Merlin, searching 1,000 years for a protege of your own. And here you are giving your apprentice a lesson in magic.
I'm going to give you the basics. Strictly Sorcery 101. Put on the ring. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah?
Kidding. You've heard how people use only 10% of their brains. Sorcerers can manipulate matter because they're born with the capability to use the entire power of their brains.
So wait, is sorcery science or magic?
Yes and yes.
So it's a very modern Merlin.
Well, he's 1,000 years old, living in modern-day Manhattan, so he's lost his English accent.
and you can see from that clip that it's a story about a teacher and a student, a mentor and a mentee. And your father was a teacher. You called him the sorcerer of your life?
That's right. He was the sorcerer in my life. He was only interested in expanding young people's minds. He was Dean of Creative Arts at San Francisco State University. He was a professor of comparative literature and philosophy. And he really wanted me to think big and use my imagination. So this is sort of my ode to all teachers out there who don't get paid anything but do their best to try to empower young people's minds.
So it's the first action film that's an ode to
teachers, to the social worker and all of us.
Because you paired up with Jerry Bruckheimer, you've worked with many times before. So that means there are some real chase scenes as well. And you actually filmed one right out here in Times Square.
Is that something? We were in a 1934 Rolls-Royce Phantom driving all through the streets of Times Square, and everybody was on that car. Hey, are you going to do National Treasure 3? What is that, an ancient Rolls-Royce? It was amazing. Sorcery 101.
I thought we were going to show the car. I guess not. We're just going to show the scene there as well. But even though this is an action film, you've done some pretty dark ones as well. But you say now you really do want to do more family-friendly films.
I really believe it's one of the better ways I can apply myself as a film actor. Maybe it's the social worker and me being my father's son, but somebody once said to me that world peace begins at home, and in my own little way, if I can give families a ritual, something to look forward to, sharing with their children, even if it's only for a day that they have a smile on their face, maybe they don't do something angry later in life. You know, that's what I believe.
But you took your own son, Cal, to see Fantasia, not to see this, right? You couldn't quite take it?
Well, we attempted to take him. He's only 4, so I thought maybe it was better not to do it this time. Not because the movie, I think, is too scary for families, but because it is me and I'm his daddy, and I don't want him to get confused.
I guess I could understand that as well. So what is next for you?
I don't really know. You know, I'm going to keep trying to find things that speak to me, so that I can have integrity with my parts. That's important. I have to know that I can play the part truthfully in some way. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, Nick Cage, thanks very much.
Thank you for having me.
Sorcerer's Apprentice opens tomorrow.
That's
in
right.
theaters July 14th.